let's move on to this now. And I got to warn you in advance, if you are a Walking Dead fan and you haven't seen the newest episode, I'm going to warn you right now, this news story here does come with some spoilers, okay? I'm just warning you right now, major significant spoiler. Okay, here it is. So, for some time now, AMC and Walking Dead have announced that, I believe the actor's name is Andrew Lincoln. Is that the guy who plays Rick? The lead character of Walking Dead. They've been saying for a while that this is his last season, and that I believe it was last night's episode was going to be his final episode, right? So they've been playing this up, saying goodbye to Rick Grimes. I think it's Grimes. Is that his last name? I don't follow it very closely. Anyway, so everybody's been talking about, oh, how's Rick going to die? How's Rick going to die? They're going to do this. Turns out the whole thing was one giant publicity stunt, because Rick does not die. And as a matter of fact, the Walking Dead world, if you will, is going to still get more Rick Grimes, because it has been announced that The Walking Dead is going to be expanding on AMC with 3 feature-length films specifically made for TV for AMC that will feature Andrew Lincoln as Rick in the lead. And no, they're not prequels. They are continuing the story. So last night on Walking Dead, Rick's terribly wounded, flown away on a helicopter, but he's not done. He's not got. It's basically a spin-off series. Now Walking Dead is going to continue with Rick off doing his own thing. Now, the chief content officer for AMC, he was asked about it, and he put out the following statement. He said this: "We have a lot on the horizon, starting with a new epic feature featuring one of the greatest leading actors in television history." I like Andrew Lincoln. I don't know that I call him one of the greatest lead actors in television history, but I like him very much, but still, okay, that's fine. And one of the best people I've ever met. These films, these 3 standalone Rick movies, are going to be big evolutions of what we've been doing on the show with the scope and scale of features. We're starting with the first part of the continuing story of Rick Grimes, and there is much more on the way, featuring yet unseen worlds of The Walking Dead and faces from the show's past, as well as new characters we hope to become favorites. Okay, once again, that's from the chief content officer over there at AMC, not the movie theater chain, the television network that The Walking Dead airs on. Okay, couple of things. On the one hand, this is kind of a smart move. I mean, look, Rick is not only the face of the show, he is the most popular guy on the show. He is the most consistent thing on the show. He is the glue that holds that show together. Now, I'm caught up to last season. I haven't watched any episodes of this season, but I'm caught up to last season. I'm not a major Walking Dead fan, but I can say this. As an average television viewer, that dude's the glue that he's the main character of the show. He's the glue that holds the show together. I remember when I first heard the talks about Andrew leaving the show, I remember thinking, well, that's going to sink the show. The show's done. They're done. You can't just up and remove him. Right? They tried to do that with The Office, with, Steve Carell leaving the show. When you lose Michael, the show kind of then went on a downward spiral. It doesn't have to happen that way, but that's kind of what we've seen happen. But, so there was that. Keeping Rick around in the Walking Dead universe is a good idea. And look, don't fool yourself. If they're keeping him alive and doing these movies, Rick will reappear on The Walking Dead. Rick will pop back up on the show The Walking Dead at some point, if for no other reason to really promote and pump this upcoming AMC made-for-TV movie, Walking Dead, The Further Adventures of Rick Grimes, or whatever they're going to do. So they're going to do that. That's absolutely going to happen. So it's smart. I get it. It's smart. Here's the one issue I take with it, though. To me, it smells a little desperate. Because, some of the biggest headlines over the past 2 or 3 years has been the declining interest in The Walking Dead, right? How many times have you opened Variety or Hollywood Reporter or TV Line or something and seen headlines about new lows for Walking Dead? Again, new lows. Now, the numbers have still been good compared to other TV shows, but compared to Walking Dead numbers, these are numbers, and this is interest that has been on the decline. It's had a little bit of recovery lately, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, that's been the narrative of Walking Dead. It's just been a show in decline. They have pretty much hitched their wagon to this Walking Dead show for years and years and years. It's been their go-to thing. They've gone back to that well many, many, many times. They even created a spin-off series with Fear the Walking Dead and all this kind of stuff. The fact that they're coming out now and saying that we've got all new worlds we're going to explore within The Walking Dead and standalone movies on TV and probably more spin-offs. To me, it just does feel a little desperate. You know how sometimes people criticize DC and Warner Brothers for just utilizing Batman too much? They make everything just too Batman-centric. Well, that's nothing compared to how much AMC is making everything Walking Dead-centric. Everything's Walking Dead. Everything's Walking Dead. Pretty soon they're going to have Saturday morning kids shows in the world of The Walking Dead. I mean, it just seems like that. I feel like this is too little too late. And it also feels a little bit like, oh my gosh, their cash cow is on the decline. We need to double down on it. You know, let's do more shows and let's do more movies. I don't know. I don't know. And again, I'm not the best guy to give opinions about Walking Dead because I'm far from the world's foremost expert on the topic. But I'd be curious to know what you guys think about that. Do you think that this whole thing, number one, was it a cheap gimmick? Oh, guys, Rick's run on The Walking Dead is coming to the end, and they've been pumping that for months, and then they pull this. Now, he's not dead. He's not gone either. They're just going to do movies with him. I thought that was a cheap shot. Personally, I thought that was Bush League. I thought that publicity stunt was a Bush League cheap shot. I really do. I do not respect the way they did that. Because they set their fans up expecting some big climax for the Rick character, and it's just a segue of moving him still in this world, just going off and doing movies now. Okay, thanks for nothing. Anyway. But what do you think about them doing standalone features? What do you think about AMC doubling down on Walking Dead? Jump down into the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, with that out of the way...